Hello everybody, welcome to another Sonic Lab presentation. We've got Tim from Nektar Tech here today. How you doing, Tim?
Good, thanks. Great to be here again.
Excellent. Well, the reason we're here is because we've got, some of you may be familiar with this. This used to be called Aura, and it's for various dull reasons we won't go into. It's been renamed Aruba.
That's right.
But
yes.
It's not just the name that's changed, right?
No, we've got a whole new software package. We've got a new kick plugin. We've got a new tom plugin, new snare plugin, a sampler plugin, and Nekarine has been updated to 2.5. There's also additional firmware features, automatic calibration of pad sensitivity, and we're going to look at that first in this video. We're going to show you what Aruba can do, and then we'll go into what's new with Nekarine.
So just to begin with, this is a 16-pad MIDI controller, but it's got an onboard MIDI sequencer as well, right?
That's right, yes. So so there's two timing engines. There's the repeat engine, which handles your note repeat, and then there's the step sequencer, which is a 16-channel monophonic sequencer.
One per pad, presumably. Right?
One per pad, right, or one per MIDI channel, because it's also can be connected to external gear as well.
Oh, right, because we've got MIDI out here as well.
5-pin MIDI.
And that'll work in standalone, so.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. Yes, so you can use it with your standalone gear. That's right.
Okay, so what are you showing us first?
Right. Well, we're going to start with another new feature. Ableton Live Integration. I'm not going to focus so much on the live integration. You could do a whole video on the live integration.
Okay, well, where do we start?
Well, let's start with looking at the pad sensitivity and their performance. So we'll start with, first we'll load up an instrument, that would help. Let's go to track 1. I'm going to press the browse button. I can add a track. It automatically loads up the drum rack for me here. And then I can scroll down and select a kick to work with. Let's do some demos with Azimuth. Load the kit, exit the browser.
Right.
And here we have the drum rack right in front of us and on the pads. And you can see on pad setup as well. Here's the names of the pads themselves as well. So I'm going to just play. So to demonstrate the pad sensitivity, we'll do some trap hi-hat. We'll do, so you can see, you can do the double finger tapping.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Very sensitive, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I can confirm.
I mean, I'm not the best, I'm not the best finger drummer, but you can get.
Right, gotcha.
So, as being not the best finger drummer, it's really useful to have the repeat engine. So I'm going to start by setting up a repeat rate that's a little bit quicker. And you can see with the repeat on, it will, as you hold it down, it will give me this much faster hi-hat.
Right, okay. Like what you were doing before, but more accurate.
Yeah, thank you, yes, exactly, yeah. Yes, thank heavens for a repeat. But actually what's good about repeat is also along the top here you have the rate changes as buttons. So I can go in and go.
Right.
And
gotcha.
It goes all the way up to 64.
Is that a global repeat for this?
It's a global repeat, yes, in the sense that, yeah, all 16 pads have to conform to.
Repeat, right.
There's only one timing engine for the repeat. However, if you want to use different repeats on the pads, you can do that in the step sequencer.
Ah, okay.
That has 16
And that's the one that's actually
repeats.
on board the hardware sequencer that's inside Aruba.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so it's important to make that distinction, actually. What we're doing here with the repeat engine is onboard, and the sequencer is also onboard, which means that the MIDI notes are generated and recorded into the DAW, Ableton or whichever DAW you're using. So the triggering is set to key 1 at the moment. You can set it to conform to the beat, where it's always on the beat. But I like it with the keys, and the reason I like it with the keys, if I just crank it up to 120 on the tempo, and then set the repeat rate to a 4/4. It's done on the click track. Hit record. It's recorded already.
Right, okay, yeah, yeah. So you've added, so you were sort of dynamically switching the repeat rate on top of that, right? Okay.
Yes, recording's up here.
Ah, so this is now triggering that clip you recorded.
Exactly,
Right,
yes.
okay.
But what's nice is I can also duplicate the clips along here, and then
Oh, yeah, so you see that.
yeah.
Okay.
And there's a few little things that you can do, like halving the clip. So you can do variations of what you've just recorded as well.
Oh, really quickly, right. Right.
So in a minute or two, you've already created like a house
I
beat
see.
going on. I like to use repeat for flams for drums and rolls as well.
Right, so more sort of realistic stuff.
Yeah, so you've noticed that at the moment when we've been using repeats, quantized, it's on the nose, it's quite robotic, which works really nicely with electronic music, what some people are used to in that regard. For acoustic drums though, you want it to be a little bit more humanised.
Right.
So let's start by looking at a more acoustic kit. And to do that, Nektarine is your friend. So let's bring in...
So Nektarine is the it's that kind of plug-in host environment that you partner with your hardware stuff, right?
Yeah, let's just have a quick look at it. Nektarine is a plug-in host, like you say, up to 16 instruments with inserts, with sends, brings it all together. And stores it. You can store that all as a multi-patch.
Right.
Multi-patch is essentially like a kit as far as Aruba is concerned.
Yeah.
But Nektarine also handles the pad organisation and the pad programming, which is why that's your friend when it comes to acoustic drums, and we'll see why in a minute. To load an acoustic drum kit, I'm just going to go in and select the instrument.
So this is a plugin you're loading.
I'm going to load Easy Drummer into
Good old
Nektarine.
tune track.
In one foul swoop there from the instrument browser. And then if we go to Nektarine mode, because the door button toggles between Ableton and Nektarine. I've got my pads. Let's turn the repeat off. So this is a really good point actually to show you when we're talking about acoustic drums, the dynamics of these pads, which is really quite something. Go right down to low levels. Right up to high levels.
And on the snare, because presumably there's velocity layers going.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
I should say at this point actually that the way that the dynamics are handled is in global mode. Your pad curve is set as a bias. Now, if you set the bias above 100%, as I have, it focuses more on the lower.
Right, so you get more detail.
That's right.
So you get you get more of a that curve rather.
That's
than,
right.
Yeah.
If you turn it down to 100, that's linear, straight line essentially.
That sort of stuff's
velocity
quite
response.
critical, I think, when it comes to sensitivity, isn't it? Especially when you've got something as dynamic as this.
It makes a big difference actually. If you're playing something louder, like cinematic drums or something, you want to turn the bias down to be on the other side, less than 100 in here.
Or
then you've got
brush
much.
kits or
Yeah, then it's
jazzy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for brush kits and jazzy, I'd probably go even higher than with the bias, because then you're focusing on the really quiet notes, if you see what I mean. But anyway, back to the performance and Nektarine.
Were you using the sequencer? We were going to get onto the flams, actually, weren't we?
We
flams
didn't do
and rolls.
flams
we didn't
yet,
do
did
flams
we?
and rolls.
Let's do
have a look
flams.
at that.
Okay, so let's just turn that pad setup off. So if we go to repeat, to do a flam, we need to, let's set the repeat up to be about 120, got to turn it on. So that's our robotic
That's the machine
repeat
drum
engine
stuff,
sound, yeah, okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is add pressure to velocity. Now I can vary the velocities of the triggered notes using pressure on the pad. I'm also going to just implement add a triplet as well, which makes it that little bit quicker, which works for a roll and for a flam actually. Let's just turn that down to 95. And it's still sounding a little bit machine gun-like. So to sort that out, you can use accents. I'm going to set the accent offset. Let's set it up to 5, and here now we can.
So there's the accent is moving around within that hole. So you're getting right.
Exactly. Now, as far as flam goes,
So you're getting quite authentic grace notes and stuff.
You are,
there,
exactly, yeah. And because of the pressure, because I'm putting less pressure down as well, it's quite a quiet, like it would be for a flam or a bouncing stick, you see.
Yeah.
I did used to be a drummer, just not a finger drummer. Right, okay, so that's all well and good. I'm just going to swap these two round so that I've got the snare drum next to the bass drum, and then I can.
Right.
So I've got quite a nice little beat going there, but to try and
do the hi-hat as well.
Yeah, it's a bit much for
challenging.
me. Some people can manage it, I'm sure. Not me. So what you might want to do there is to go into the step sequencer, and at this point,
This is the step sequencer inside Aruba now that we're dealing with.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
It's all on board. So like the repeat engine, everything that's generated by the step sequencer is going to get recorded into your like MIDI clips or whatever DAW you're using. It's 16 pattern. 16 patterns per collection. There's 16 collections that you can load from the pads.
Right.
Just by tapping them like this. And
so you can switch all of these patterns on the fly as well, so you can make it quite performative.
You can. And you can go really deep with it, far too deep for this video.
Okay.
You can essentially edit individual velocities of every step. What is important to show, actually, is to first of all show you how to clear a collection, because I don't know what's there. I'm going to clear all now. And also to show you that there's 64 steps that you can use, but to start with, you've only got 16 enabled.
Right, so it's basically
you need to enable.
So this is like the TR type recording.
Steps. Exactly.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
I'm just going to stick with 16.
Yeah.
Quick and easy for this demonstration, and I'm going to record. Now this is a new feature that we've added. Actually, the step sequencer was there before when it was a different name. And now that it's Aruba with record and the new firmware,
so
brings
live
this
record
feature.
right? Okay.
It's live recording, and that's important because step sequencing is very robotic. Okay, again, it works.
You're not spending a lot of time
electronic.
fiddling around making it sound less.
Yeah, but recording with this dynamics, this performance, the dynamics that the pads give you, it's a much nicer experience. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to turn the click track on so I can hear what I'm doing in Ableton. And I'm going to record a hi-hat riff into the step sequencer. Right, so here's our step sequencer. I'm just going to add a little bit of swing because it's still sounding a little bit robotic even with the recording. That's a bit better.
And
then,
again, I can hear there's quite a lot of dynamics there.
And then to add an extra dynamic, you can just accent the steps. You can see how I can control the steps from the sequencer that's running above as well. And then if I want to vary just like one of the steps, you can even go that deep and change the velocity there. And the
so you get that sort of granularity, yeah.
Okay, so I'm happy with that. Right, here is my sequenced hi-hat.
Yep.
You know what, I forgot to do something. Let me go back to the sequencer because you also have a trigger mode. And in this case, I'm triggering it live. I want it to be immediate. So we switch it back to immediate. Go back to the pad setup. I'm going to turn on the click track.
Okay. I'm not sure I'd have given you the gig, but you know, that's okay. For demonstration purposes.
Yeah. Hey, I used to be a drummer, not a finger drummer, okay.
So now we've just recorded that on top. So we used the sequencer to start us off internally, and then we dumped the whole lot into Ableton Live as a pattern when we were recording that.
That's right,
stuff on top.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this is available now? I mean,
all of this stuff is available now for existing Aruba users. If you bought the original product, all of this is still supported. You don't have to buy another one. You're welcome to, but you don't have to. Yeah, so this is all available for free. Go and download it now.
And that includes the Nektarine
yes.
update as well.
Nektarine update, yes, which we will look at in the next video
Yes.
because there's a lot to show there. I think we're probably out of time for now.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for watching. That was the Nektar Technologies Aruba. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you.